and that one, and take these away, and there. That's been wrong for so many episodes. I apologize, guys. I just got round to it. Hey guys, you're watching You One and Only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a Mansion. Now, I've got the update, okay? Look. Red sandstone, andesite, diorite, granite, slime blocks, prismarine. I've got them, okay? I've had them for a long, long time. I've had Zonocraft going from like midway through December. You guys have been going, why has he not got the update? How come he doesn't have the update? You should get the update, it's awesome. I've had it. I just explained in, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos that this series especially had been pre-recorded over Christmas because, like you guys, the same as you guys, I like to take some time off over Christmas to be able to spend time with my family and friends and stuff like that. So I ended up pre-recording probably about a week and a half's worth of videos. Yeah, probably a week and a half's worth of videos to cover me over the Christmas time. So you guys still had videos to watch, and I could take some time off, because who doesn't like to have time off at Christmas? But then once I had finished pre-recording those week and a half's worth of videos, 4J, the people who make this game, announced that the update would be out before Christmas, which then sort of threw me into a hole, because I had already pre-recorded episodes without the update, and I had to record new footage because the update had came out, which is why Zonocraft started going, which is why we've done some redstone tutorials and some other TU31 stuff. But don't worry, guys, all those pre-recorded videos are now over and done with. They've been over and done with for probably 3 or 4 days now, you would have noticed. So we are now up to date. All videos from now on will be with the update. It was just so funny seeing you guys going, why doesn't he have the update? How come he doesn't have the update? And then other people going, don't you watch like any of his videos? He explained like 6 times. I did. But yeah, it's all good. I have already made one change off camera, and that's replacing the brown clay that we had surrounding the property with podzol, because it's a beautiful block. I really, really like this block. In addition to that, we can now place flowers and such on this. So today, we're going to be updating the exterior of our house with decoration blocks from TU31. So I don't know if we'll be using full blocks as such. We might do in some parts, but things like the flowers mostly and bushes, really beautifying it, because we now have these double high ferns and other flowers and stuff, and just better looking flowers. I love these tulips. They do look absolutely wonderful. This allium, you never really see it that often. You hardly ever see it used, and you hardly ever see it in the wild, but it's actually not a terrible looking flower. Look, it looks okay, doesn't it? It's a little bit straight, I suppose, but it doesn't look too bad. So, oh, hiccups. What have we got in here? Because this is the surprisingly enough, this is actually the first time that I've really had a chance to look through the new blocks in the default texture pack. We've done a lot of work on the spaceship, for example, that's already in TU31 with the new blocks and slime blocks and stuff. But I only saw them in the Mass Effect Teshup pack? The Mass Effect Mashup pack. I haven't actually seen them in the default texture pack. So, yeah, awesome. Where is armor stands? What is that? A rabbit. Where is armor stand? I thought armor stands, oh, they're in here now. I thought they were up there on the PlayStation. I might be wrong. But anyway, they're there. Perfect. I don't think there's really much more new stuff to worry too much about. Nothing new in redstone. But yeah, the flowers. So, I'm going to start off with these double high ones, because these are my favourite ones. Oh, and the sunflowers, I suppose, 2 blocks high technically, isn't it? So let's start off in the middle here. We want to get rid of some of this short grass and replace it with long grass. Now technically we don't need to actually swap them around. We could just bone meal the long grass and bone meal the ferns and come to the same effect. But we might as well have the blocks in our inventory anyway. So let's swap some of these small ferns out with large ferns. This gives so much depth, it's crazy. Let's swap that one out. And then I want some rose bushes. I tend to, as a little tip, because we haven't really done any building tips on decoration, because we haven't really had the ability to do too much. But when you're doing something like this, try to focus around putting the double tall decorations more towards the center or the furthest point away from where you stand. So the furthest way that I can stand is around the perimeter here. So towards the middle, you want the tallest object, which is the tree. And then as you get further out, you want things to get lower. That way you can see everything from where you can actually stand. If I started putting double high things, or too many double high things out here, as you can see, not only do I block the tree trunk, but I block leaves and I block all those flowers behind, ferns and long grass and such. So I'm not saying don't put double high ones out the front, but try not to put too many. Try to keep it light, with height wise around the edges of an area, but do always put at least a little bit in there. But that looks cool. That looks so cool. I love it. Look how busy that looks. I don't know. I just really like that. Around the side here, do I really want to... Yeah, I think I do want to change up a little bit. Maybe put some pink in here at the points of where we need long grass. Or where we have long grass or blank spaces. Because we've got a lot of red and we've got a lot of yellow. But the pink is a really nice touch, and it blends really nicely in with the brick as well. It like matches that texture perfectly. Maybe swap out a few dead bushes as well. So don't go too crazy. I think that's good. And I think the red ones we've got a little bit too many, or the colour red we've got a little bit too much of anyway. So we're going to go with some slightly lighter double high pink ones. What are these called? I should really learn the names. Lilacs and peonies. I'm never going to remember that. never going to remember that. I should remember lilacs. Are lilacs my fiance's favourite flower? I think they are. I think lilacs are my fiance's favourite. I should remember that one, shouldn't I? It's going to be difficult to remember the other ones. So, we've then got these blue orchids, which are really nice. I really like these. They're not my favourite ones, but it's such a really nice blue. It's a different colour to the water, a slightly lighter shade of blue. And they just really stand out. They're very neon, almost glow in the dark like. So since we have absolutely no blue decoration blocks, I don't think even in the whole house, I don't think we even have a blue wall. The only blue that we have on this whole set at the moment is water. And we only really have water at the front. So having some blue around there, oh, that brings out so much colour. Okay, and then we need maybe some white lilac. Oh no, what about the oxeye daisies in the middle here? That's a nice white, and it has a hint of yellow as well. So we'll stick some of these around the side. I love, what are they called again? Tulips. Oh, tulips might be. No, lilacs are fiance's favourite. Lilacs. I like they're called tulips. I am not a herbologist, as you can tell. I don't know flowers that well. I like them. I just don't think that having that many small flowers in the middle here is going to help our cause. That looks so much more beautiful than the yellow, red, and brown sort of colour palette that we had before. It's so nice. Plus, they're sort of just taller than 2 blocks high. Oh, they are 2 blocks high, aren't they? These are 1.5 blocks high. So you can actually see them over the wall as well. How nice is that? Beautiful. Okay, around the side here, the main block that I want on this wall is actually these. Are these roses? Yeah, rose bush is the rose bush. This is the main block that I want around the edge of the podzol here. Really nice that we can actually grow stuff on podzol. It pretty much has the same characteristics as dirt, I would say, not grass, because although it sort of is basically a different type of grass, it doesn't spread. Podzol doesn't spread. It won't spread to this block. Do you know what I mean? It's not like grass, where grass will grow to the next dirt block next to it. And it's not like mycelium, where mycelium will actually change grass into mycelium if you have both of them next to each other. So it doesn't have the properties of mycelium. It doesn't have the properties of grass. It basically just has the properties of dirt. Well, no, it doesn't really, because the properties of dirt would mean that it could be changed via mycelium or grass. And it doesn't. So it's... I don't know. It's a block that has properties unlike any other block in the game, isn't it? It's like a normal. It's like a stone block that you can place plants on, but it's also softer and easier to break. And it's really hard to describe. If you had to describe the block, it wouldn't really be that easy. But it's got a very dead leaf. Well, that makes it sound bad. In the biome that it's originally in, I think the texture is supposed to correspond to like dead leaves on the floor, you know, and moss and wet, almost swampish in a way. Almost like, how beautiful does that look? Hey, almost look like grapes or tomatoes along the edge. And I think we need one more color. Oh, what about these little tiny white ones? That'll be a nice touch. Yeah, I think in the biome that it's actually in, it's very much a wet, disgusting block. It would squelch under your feet with the wet mud and stuff. But when used in this sort of format as a plant pot style texture, I think it's a lot better. I think. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I think it's a lot better. I think it's much more like a, how would you say it, like a fertilizer slash, I don't know, just growable sort of mud block. Really, really nice. I really, really like it. So this white and red around the side here, I think is really, really going to stand out already from what I can just barely see as I'm flashing through them. Is super, super nice. Super, super nice. And the courtyard as well will have to be updated. Don't forget about the courtyard. And I think with the courtyard, we're going to focus mostly around the tulips. No, not tulips. Yes, tulips. I got it right. Look at me. Tulips, lilacs. Okay, I got it. I'm getting there. And what the hell are these called? Azure bluelets. I'm going to call you snowdrops. I think they're snowdrops is a much easier name for me to remember and say both at the same time. So these snowdrops are really, really nice. These are a plant unlike any other one. They have their sort of own characteristics of that. They're very much like a very tiny cobweb. I think it's a terrible way to explain it, but like a tiny little cobweb that looks really, really nice, because they're not like a normal flower, because they don't really stand up. They're like their own little cluster ball, aren't they? So we have just this little tiny part to go here. So nice that I done that wall along there as a hedge, because doing 4 sides would take a lot longer than doing 3 sides. Okay, and 1 there. Okay, let's go to a place like out here. No, we can't really see my hair out of the back. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It makes that fence, that perimeter fence, look so much more worthwhile. Oh, I love it. I love it. What a change. What a really nice change. Okay, so let's go to the courtyard now. And we don't have too much place for this to go. But let's grab some tulips here. We've got a slightly pinkish one. The pink and the red one don't seem to look... the pink and the white one don't seem to be that much different. There's a subtle difference. It would be nice if that was a little bit more pink, in my opinion. But let's put these down the bottom here. In fact, maybe just tulips around the middle here. Just tulips. No other ones. We'll have a white one, an orange one, and a pink one. Oh, yeah, look at that. I like it. I like it. If I put those there, it's going to get rid of the vines, and I sort of like the vines. But maybe... I don't know how many flowers I can't really put any flowers around those bushes because of 2 reasons. One, I've sort of got the fence there filling in any other gaps. And 2, because of the clay, I can't really put them exactly where I want. I can only put them on certain blocks. So I don't really like that. I could put some double high things around the side here. Let's go with some double high ferns. We're going with the more sort of... no, maybe 1... lilacs. I do like these. I think I like these lilacs over the peonies. So, yeah, we'll have some lilacs covering maybe sort of, I'm going to say this is going to sound good, but maybe sort of covering some windows. I know that doesn't sound amazing, but I think that looks really nice. And then have tall grass covering other ones. Like that. It doesn't cover them, but from the inside, you're going to see it, and it's going to look like there's much more depth there. Really, really nice. Okay, nothing really more down here. Nothing down there because of the clay. There's gravel there. Nothing really required in the middle here. Around here, yeah, we can go with some like this. I'm sort of staying away from the red deliberately. I don't want to really set such a contrasting colour against that clay wall. That sort of white clay wall. I think that'll be a little bit too much. Down the back here, though, of this one, we can have a couple. Nope, I don't like that. I really like this green there on this one. I might be wrong here, but these two look slightly different in Xbox than they do on PC. The rosebush, the roses are a darker red. It might just be me, but they definitely look like a darker red than on PC. And on this one, I don't know, I might be wrong. I haven't used as many of these on PC, but this green seems to be a little bit more vibrant. A little bit more vibrant. I think on the PC, it's a little bit more greyed out. Again, I might be wrong. It's just sort of my own opinion on some of those blocks. Okay, perfect. The second thing that I want to do is maybe change out this log floor. This log floor took me forever. For proper forever. But I think I'm going to use one of these new stone blocks instead. Maybe a granite would look really nice. Not a smooth... or maybe even altering between the smooth granite and the normal granite, or polished granite it should be known as. Let's do a small section here. These logs took so long to do, it wasn't even funny. So getting rid of those is a little bit of a shame. But that does look stunning, doesn't it? I think it's a much more realistic block as well for this sort of barbecue area, because, not being funny, who would really want a wood floor by a barbecue? Not many people. Really, not that many people at all. But this, as a hard stone, super, super nice. Okay, let me do that. I'm going to change this out. I should be back. Okay, am I pleased I done this? Am I so, so pleased? Hold on, we've got like one more. Oh, no, that is all of them. Yeah. Look at that. I am so pleased we decided to do this. It looks so much better. What two beautiful blocks right near each other. Nobody ever uses granite. Hardly ever. But in this combination, it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Now, the next change I want to do is actually with this path. I do like this gravel, but I was thinking for a really long time. In fact, I don't know what series I've done it on, but I swear not so long back. I actually done a mix of cobblestone and gravel, and it looked so much better. Like, let's just do a small little section here. Is it out the front? I don't know if it is out the front. No, I don't think it is out the front. But this looks so much better, and it's really not hard to do if you've got a path already laid out. But that looks so much more interesting. I mean, just look at, I know it's a subtle change, but that looks so much more interesting than that. Now, I was also thinking about swapping in some andesite, and possibly, in addition, some polished andesite. So let's mix in some andesite here. Nice grey block. It's always nice to have more grey blocks, and especially more white blocks with this dye right here as well. That looks okay, but I tell you something, the andesite, the normal andesite, doesn't stand out enough. It's too subtle. There's hardly any difference between andesite here and gravel here. And especially on YouTube, I doubt there'll be any difference. So, let's try swapping out any andesite with polished andesite. Now, this is a little bit more of an urgent change instead of a subtle difference. But look at that. That's nice. Cobblestone, gravel, and polished andesite is the way to go. So, before we end off the episode, because can you believe it's already over, I'm going to just go off camera for a second and swap out some gravel for cobblestone and polished andesite. I shall come back and let you guys sort of judge what you think, okay? I shall be back. Okay, I lied. I said that this wouldn't take long at all. It does. It takes such a long time. But it's so worth it. In fact, I like it so much that you might end up seeing a video on the channel. I'm thinking when I was doing it, I was thinking about doing a video on the laws of path building in Minecraft. Now, it sounds really cool, doesn't it? But there's definitely some rules, some laws that you need to follow if you want to make a path. This looks so much better. And it works mostly because of the power of 3. Now, I've spoken about this in more detail in a previous video. But I studied drama when I was at high school. In fact, I ended up getting an A star in it, and the power of 3 cropped up all over the place. It crops up nowadays. Hello, phone. It crops up nowadays in newspapers everywhere. Every newspaper will follow the rule of 3. In fact, films and posters and anything that you look at will follow. A lot of buildings and skyscrapers and everything. And the power of 3 is very simple. It's using 3 different colors or shades or textures only. If you use any more than 3, then it becomes complicated to the eye. It becomes harder to see, harder to understand. Which is why if you look at a newspaper, now I'm not saying that this is 100% true, but look at a newspaper and the majority of the newspaper will be in 3 colors. Number 1 will be white background on a newspaper. Number 2 will be black, for the black text on the newspaper, and the third will be an actual colour, most of the time probably red, being a red banner at the top of a magazine. Like here in the UK we have the Daily Star, the Sun, things like that. They have a big red rectangle right at the top, and that's the only real colour on the magazine, apart from maybe a picture of a person, of the story inside, you know, the main story of that newspaper, whatever. But most of the time, magazines and newspapers and stuff follow that very simple rule of 3. And it works exactly the same in Minecraft. In fact, I follow it unknowingly. We followed it with the house. If you look at the house here, we have 3 main colours. We have white rails, we have white clay, and we have cobblestone. Yes, there are slight other blocks in here. For example, we have a slightly darker base block in some sections, and we also have brick on the roof, but they're minor details. They're tiny little pictures on a magazine if you imagine the rest of the house to be a 3-block magazine. And it literally, without knowing, you'll end up doing it everywhere. Inside here, the walls are 3 colours: pink, white, and purple, or orange, white, and yellow. Do you know what I mean? It works absolutely everywhere, and you end up doing it without even knowing once you get used to the idea. But boy, does it make a huge difference. Around the front here on this broken path, I kept it more, well, I didn't even put any of the andesite in, the polished andesite in. I just swapped out some cobblestone, some gravel with some cobblestone, but I kept it very sparse because I want it to be a broken path, a sort of dusty, gravelly path instead of a solid path. And I didn't change up the courtyard at all either, because I really like the mossy cobblestone being the defining feature. As far as the normal path goes here, you can have, and you want basically a even number of gravel and cobblestone, but then you want a sparse amount, which means fewer of the polished andesite, because the polished andesite does stand out. It is your standout block to catch your eye and make you realize that it's not a boring path. It draws your eye to it and you go, ah, he's actually done a lot with this path. And then you notice the cobblestone and the gravel after the fact that you've noticed the polished andesite. But if you have too many of it, it becomes overpowering and it takes the effect away. If you just have a very subtle every now and again, it definitely works. Another rule of it, very quickly before we end off, is don't put 2 next to each other. As soon as you put 2 next to each other, it definitely takes that effect away. Same as this way, if you have it vertically. It takes the effect away if you have them both next to each other. You can have them diagonal to each other, like here. That works fine, but don't have them directly next to each other because it draws your eye too much to it. If I do this, you watch. Let's do that and that. Now, if I walk down this path, what's the first thing you see here? To me, it might just be me being a little bit more over pedantic, but I definitely see this weird straight line pattern on the floor of these 2 blocks. It really doesn't look good, so try and stay away from that if at all possible. I also need to mix in some more gravel there because I see I've overpowered it with a cobblestone a little bit too much. Where have they moved gravel now? Where have they moved gravel to? Everything's all budged over a little bit because of the new blocks. There we go. Okay, that looks a lot better. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed updating our world with the new decoration blocks. I think it looks totally better, totally much more interesting to look at, especially around the front here. If you guys did as well, hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already and you want to see more, then hit the subscribe button. We shall see you in the next episode. Bye!